If you just join us, you've missed a lot. You've missed the news, but we're on to the newspapers. So thank you for joining us right now. Joseph Akable is here. Together, we will go through the papers for you this morning. But did you say you have a quiz?
Yes, there's a quiz, and the question will pop up on the screen if the director is ready.
Why is my producer not discussing these things with me? Like, you allow it to go on air without my prior knowledge.
Yeah, and that's how all proper quizzes are organized. And so a lot of thoughts. You are being asked, what is the number of the parking space containing the car? So there is 16, 06, 68, 88, then there's a car, then there's 98. So you are being asked to mathematically deduce what the parking space for where the car is should be. Yeah, she's counting her fingers now. Yeah. And so I suspect it may take you a while. So what I'm going to do is that I'm actually forwarding this image to you.
Yeah.
So that you can think about it in between the paper review.
Can I open the phone lines?
No, it's for just you.
But where did you find this?
Somewhere.
So did you answer? Did you get it right?
Of course. I always get it right.
How long did it take you?
It took about 2 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
2 minutes because I was doing something while I was trying to solve it. I'm sure if I was doing it directly, would have taken less.
I have a very wicked producer and director. They are not even saying anything to me in my ears.
They have nothing to say to you.
At least make me look bright on air.
So we'll come back for your answer.
Yeah,
I've sent the image to you so that you can look at it in the course.
I mean, if I can't, I'll activate the phone lines and my viewers will help me out.
Don't worry, the quiz master is here.
No, we don't need your help.
It's very easy. When I solve it, you'll be amazed.
Whatever. Before we get into the newspapers, though, there are some issues trending, and one is the ambulance carting cements. If you haven't seen the video, we're going to show it to you right now on the screen, and then we'll come back with a statement from the ambulance service, and then also read it out to you. So do we have the video? Okay.
We know about that. We person we come and Fabra. We find your boots. Mascara we pass over when you out. What the business I'm coming around. If you buy, Fabra.
All right, so this has obviously angered a lot of people because this is a branded National Ambulance Service vehicle that is essentially carrying cements. This is just what was captured, so you can imagine the number of days that it had carried the cement before this video. All right, so as people got talking, the National Ambulance Service decided to issue a statement. Here is the statement. We're going to put it on the screen and read it out to you. Okay, Joseph, do you have it so that you can read it? I'm not sure I can see from where I sit. Okay, so let's see. We'll just open it up for you. Okay, so here we go. So the National Ambulance Service has completed preliminary investigations into the circumstances surrounding an incident in which an ambulance ostensibly belonging to the service is observed. Check this out, too. Ostensibly belonging to the service is observed in a viral video cutting cement bags. Our investigation have revealed the following. 1. The said vehicle with registration number GV53720 was one of the ambulances awaiting the fixing of minor faults by the supplier before being received and integrated into the National Ambulance Service fleets. 2. The incident occurred on or around March 26, 2021, while the said vehicle was in the custody of the supplier, Service Ghana Auto Group Limited. 3. The said suppliers had caused the ambulance to be sent to its garage to address a minor fault. The National Ambulance Service had earlier declined to take custody of the vehicle because of the said fault. Joseph, you noted what I said in the very beginning when they said ostensibly belongs to them.
Yes.
4, a mechanic of the said garage, Nana Ofosu, who is a gearbox specialist, after the repairs, drove the ambulance toward the Malam Kaswa Winneba Road on a test drive and during the process employ the vehicle for his private purposes. The ambulance is still in the custody of Service Ghana Auto Group Limited and therefore not being used by the paramedics of the National Ambulance Service. It is thus not part of the National Ambulance Service fleet. And it's signed by Simmons Yusuf, Kewura Head Public Relations, National Ambulance Service. See, the ambulance cutting the cement was so upsetting, but the statement, more upsetting for me. Where's the anger in that statement? Like, you know, your ambulance is being used for that purpose. You tell us, first of all, that it belongs to you. But you...
Ostensibly.
Yeah. But then, because it developed a minor fault, you sent it to be fixed.
To fix it before it comes back. Then you conclude by saying that, okay, look, it's not part of our fleet.
Seriously?
I mean, it's very unfortunate, and I don't know what steps they are taking by way of this Nana Yaw Ofosu gearbox.
Yeah, but the statement tell you that they will even take any action. Because they are simply, in one breath, it is our ambulance. In another breath, it is not ours. So for the fact that we haven't accepted it and they have to deal with a certain fault. So whatever they decide to do with it, let them do it.
But I really don't. What confused me a bit was on this Nana Yaw Ofosu mechanic. I mean, ambulance. Maybe just
No, go ahead and say it.
No, like I've always had it in my mind that an ambulance is a specialized vehicle of sorts. That, I mean, I find it a bit strange that it's with some gearbox specialist somewhere, and the person is test driving it, and he
cutting cement
with the ambulance.
Yes,
like it sounds so weird to me, and I can't even begin to make sense of.
Sounds
everything.
Normal. If you pay attention to the statement, that's their preliminary investigation. But they are not angry. You see, they are not upset. They are explaining to you that it was going for test driving, and the guy decided to use it to cut cement. So it's not in their custody yet. You see, it's branded though. It's got a GV, like it's a state ambulance. But the National Ambulance Service is not angry. So, you know, it would only remain a viral video. So, shall we go on with the newspapers, maybe?
Yes, we can do that now.
We can't do this to ourselves.
It's very unfortunate.
We cannot. We cannot.
And I mean, while we raise issues with how the ambulance service intends to go about it, it's important to outrightly condemn this Nana Yaw Ofosu gearbox specialist or whoever he is. I mean, you don't do that. I mean, we're all in this country when we're told that the total fleet is just about 35 vehicles, and the government promised to get one ambulance per constituency. The ambulances came in eventually. We are told that they've been deployed. In fact, we've done stories about areas where some are abandoned because there's no driver, among others, and all those issues. Then, as a citizen, why do you pack cement into an ambulance? I mean,
because he can get away with it.
Yes, and that's where the problem lies.
Because
actually,
he can get away with it.
But we should also be responsible citizens. We shouldn't do some of these things.
There's another one that I found very irresponsible. It's a video of Shatawale storming, and we're going to show you the video as well. Very upsetting issues happening just within the week. I mean, this is only Wednesday. So this is Shatawale, who explains that he was on his way home. He saw a contractor doing his job. It's not like Shatawale gave him a contract. He decided that he was pretty pissed because apparently the road was not stretching to either his office or home or something like that. So he decided to gather his boys and shake the contractor small. Hey, Ghana! And then, you know, he says in the video that the man was behaving like Shatawale is a nobody. So I said, yeah. In the scheme of things, like, who do you think you are when an agency has given a contract to a contractor to fix roads? Like, you think you are the who?
In fact, there's a
famous musician, so you can order people about?
A second version of the story that I heard, which is even more ridiculous. The claim is that he says the road has already been tarred not too long ago, and they are tarring the road again, so he doesn't understand why. But either way, it's both narratives.
He's the expert.
I mean...
No.
But he's done another video apologizing, and from the information I'm actually picking, it was because some steps were being taken to have him arrested for what had happened at that particular...
The steps must be taken. You see,
Exactly.
if we're banning excavators, and I'm all for it, I know you are against it. If we're banning excavators and we find people do this and we don't discipline them and punish them, then it contradicts everything that we're doing. You get what I mean? I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, we should deal with him so that nobody thinks that if an agency has given a contract, assembly, whatever, like you think you are the Shatawale, so you can stop, organize your boys and direct the contractor. Like, seriously. You get what I mean? I mean, it's so upsetting. Really upsetting. And then because of a threat of a suit, he decides to do a video. I mean, like, the impudence. You know, when you do this, he does not only think he is a big somebody, but he empowers those guys that he also guided to the place. And when they see this contractor or whoever, they think, oh, I've got the blessings of Shatawale, so I can go and misbehave. This is so not right. If National Security, Ghana Police can decide to take an action even without anybody reporting, this is a viral video. We've seen him misbehaving. There's allegations of assault. We need the police to take a look at it, invite him and investigate and deal with him accordingly. Otherwise, it's just the impunity that is continuing in other levels. If we can't tolerate an excavator in water bodies, pumps linked to river bodies, this must also not be tolerated. Oh, Joseph. Can I answer the question so I can calm down a bit?
You will not be able to answer it in this condition.
Said?
I mean, okay.
Okay.
You want to try?
If I get it correct, what is at stake?
You have an earpiece. I don't know what they've said to you, but I mean, just tell us what.
Oh, you think?
Is. No, go ahead and tell us what the answer is.
No. What is at stake before I answer?
Anything. You tell us the answer.
What do you mean by anything?
Anything you want. I mean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's how much I trust the question.
Okay, let's do the newspapers. I'll deal with you a bit later. So go through what you have.
The front page of the Daily Graphic now, it says, uphold your integrity, President charges journalist. And third graphic, Business Sense challenge unveiled. VCs risk 20 years imprisonment over unapproved courses. And campaign launched to boost domestic tourism. I saw some photographs on social media of the buses that will be used. There are 2 buses, 1 double decker and some other bone shaker. You know what a bone shaker is? You know bone shaker?
I sat in one of those when I visited Singapore. This was just the first day. And
I'm talking about the Ghana bone shaker.
I know.
It's a bone shaker. You know,
it was the open top bus is what it was a tour around the city. So, and you have your served dinner, and then you're looking at the beauty of the city. So I was wondering.
That one is the double decker one.
Yeah.
The bone shaker one is not that one. That one is the one that the high schools they used to cut the farm produce. You know. So it's just as an open area of a sort, just a little roofing. So they have the open top one.
See, you have something against that one?
No. Oh,
you're wondering what we use it for?
No, in fact, I've seen photographs of it on social media, well branded, nicely. In fact, I don't understand how it will be operating nonetheless, but we are told that it's to boost domestic.
Yeah, tourism. So it's that open bus that I'm talking about. Like
you are in, and it takes you around the town, and you look
exactly.
around. Yeah.
So within some hours, you've gone around the entire country and essentially the city because it's one. I
think it will serve very good purpose in an area like Cape Coast. You know, a lot of tourist sites within reach. Yeah, so it makes it very, very cool. But that is on the front page of the Daily Graphic as well. The back page has this story about sea defense projects on course and Valco Trust Fund to construct 5,000 schools in 5 years. Quickly do the other papers. The Ghanaian publisher says ADB wins 1D1F Financial Service Award. ICUMS rakes in 18.7 billion cedis on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher. Daily Statesman reports journalists not above criticisms. Akufo-Addo says critique of work is not attack on press freedom. And massive progress at Kibi Presby College of Education. Stakeholders commended. And state calls witnesses in coup plotters case. They've served notice of actually calling witnesses. They've not called those witnesses yet. Let me quickly end with that of the BNFT. The BNFT reports ADB is 1D1F Financial Service Provider of the Year. BOG Governor blames slow judicial process as only 7% of funds recovered so far and 100 million cedis allocated to boost domestic tourism. And we are not opposed to joint development, says Sankofa, to deliver $8.1 billion revenue to the state. And ExxonMobil's exit strategic, likely driven by insufficient volumes, also on the front page of the BNFT newspaper. Let's
do the Ghanaian Times newspaper. On the front page, at Africa Journalist Leaders Conference, President raps media, says criticism is not attack on press freedom. I like the rap, how they put the headline. 100 million Ghana cedis boost for tourism. Ministry, boy 12 murdered at shrine, 3 arrested, others on the run. This is another case of a ritual murder according to the narration. So he was arrested on 20th of May at a funeral. He was taken to a shrine by those who abducted him, and then he was slaughtered for money-making rituals, according to the story. Details of that on page 3. And then Ghana Health Service worried over decline in breastfeeding. Also another story here on page 3. Woman stabs father to death, another bizarre one. And it's a 21-year-old unemployed. We're told she stabbed her father, 70-year-old, at Tema Community 2. So he was sleeping. This was early morning, and she just stabbed him multiple times. He died as a result. But the background story is that she had been behaving abnormally, according to the narration, and she was taken to a church, a prayer camp, even though she had been, the family had been advised to take her to a psychiatric hospital. So police still investigating this matter. On the back page of the paper, Valco Trust Fund to help eliminate schools under trees. One of those sharp contrasts to how Valco itself is performing and what the trust fund intends to do. I mean, can they really do what they say they would do, considering that they themselves, as the Volta Aluminium Company Limited, are not doing well, if you like. But hey, what do we know? Training on control of mosquito larva ends in Accra is also another story on the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. So let's go through the final on the front page. ADB wins One District, One Factory Financial Service Provider of the Year award. Congratulations to them. Rise in tobacco use among young female adults worrying, according to the FDA. Trial of alleged coup plotters starts June 8th. Critiquing work of journalists, not an attack on media. President Akufo-Addo urges media to accept criticism in good faith. Innovative initiative to promote domestic tourism launched. Joseph talked to us about that a while ago. So let's do the Daily Guide newspaper front page. Indum's $100 million transfers, and that's in quote, pop up in U.S. courts. You can catch up the details there on that court's issue. Senior high school graduate kills dad in Tema. I think it's the same story in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. 19 witnesses for coup plotters case starts June 8th. Let's see if there's something interesting in the center spread, which usually carries the entertainment stories. Oh, Shatawale leads gang to assault road workers. That story is here in the center spread of the paper. Do you have another paper?
The Custodian will be the last one for me. It has this story about Akufo-Addo sets records straight, says critiquing journalists, not an attack on media freedom, and fraudsters invade courts, file writs for government compensations, and police place 10K bounty on Karaga DCE's drivers killers. Baumia donates 5 incubators to Kokroko Charity Foundation. The back page has this story about Christian Achu announcing his departure from Newcastle. He's 29 years old, and I've heard people saying that he's nearing the twilight of his career, so he should come to Hearts of Folk. Sergio Aguero has joined Barcelona at 33.
Christian Achu is leaving Newcastle,
yes,
and he'll be a free agent.
Yes, and people are suggesting he should come back home, and I'm saying that, I mean, they said at the age he's getting to, and I'm saying that Aguero has joined Barcelona at 33. He's young enough. I mean, he's...
Yeah, but what's wrong with coming back home and joining one of our clubs?
If it's Kotoko, I mean, I'm all for it. But if not, it should just continue outside.
Who cares? Let's do the Daily Dispatch. We care about the Daily Dispatch. Here's what's on the front page. I prefer vibrant media to a praise-singing one, according to our president. And it's just different angles from the same speech that people have, taking. And this conversation about who started free SHS is still on, apparently, so you can catch up if you're interested. The Daily Dispatch newspaper. That's how the front page of the paper looks like today. Joe?
Yes. Are you ready with my answer? I'm done going through the papers.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, so the question again. We put a question again on the screen. And you tell us what the answer is.
What's the number of the parking space containing the car?
Yes.
And it's 16, 6, 68, 87, 87, 98.
Say that again.
87.
So the answer is 87. Okay, let's turn it around and see. Okay. Round again.
Does it show you?
Yep. So it was very easy, actually. So it doesn't require any math. It's just 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. But when you turn it upside down, the 91 becomes 16. The 90 becomes 06. Then you have 68, 88. So it becomes confusing, like it's some complex mathematical problem.
Oh.
But just by turning it upside down.
Can I confess, though? It's not like I thought about it, though.
Okay, how did you find
it? Professor Japon just sent me the answer.
Oh. Prof of UHAS?
Yes.
Oh, I know Prof.
And this
Prof used to, he used to be at Legon. Prof was, he was in charge of audit. Prof is in charge of audit. Prof, this one, I disagree with you. In fact, we have set aside the results. As a result of external assistance, the answer has been set aside. And so you take another test.
I don't mind. This is my truth. I'm just telling you. I didn't even have to struggle. And this was very early when you posted and you were yobbing. Oh, you don't know. I knew it because you had sent it to me. It was right there.
Okay, good morning to you, Prof.
Let's do myjoyonline.com now. What's trending on our page? But is there a story of interest?
Just the bits about this whole conversation about media freedom. This is the second time in less than 5 days that the president has been speaking about this particular issue. I mean, I guess it explains the importance that he attaches to it and the concerns that he has about what people think the situation of the media is really. And I think beyond these conversations, we need to also... There's a point that Cabral Blame here chaired this particular event. He made a point about the need to address some of the concerns that come up that are issues of concerns to people. And so it's good that we set the record straight, like some people have tagged it. But when people raise some of the concerns, like what has happened to the killers of Ahmed Swali, why have they beaten this journalist somewhere? Why have they done this? We want to see the matter investigated and dealt with, because people's reality is what it is to them. It's either you address it for them or they decide how they intend to address it and may punish you for it when they have the means of doing that by voting as well. And so that is the issues that I think that we should also...
I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Because, then it's as if, okay, this is what you journalists, you've said, and this is our response. And we are trying to tear apart what you have said instead of
listening and addressing.
Exactly.
And a friend of mine made quite a sarcastic comment. I mean, people have been saying that if there is no threat if there's a culture of silence, why are people talking? Like, why am I talking right now? You know the question that the guy says. He says, when Professor Dubois made that speech that is believed to have broken the culture of silence, he didn't use sign language. He spoke. So, I mean, talking does not mean that people do not have concerns.
Brilliant.
You just have to address those concerns.
Yeah. Let's quickly look at myjoyonline.com and let's give you an update. The Achimota school issue is here. The fact that the school board in the statement says that they're going to appeal the order to admit the 2 Rastafarian students.
The update on that story, the education minister says he's meeting the headmistress of Achimota and the board chairman. He says he doesn't think it's their place. The GES constitutes the board. They can't on their own decide that they are going to appeal a decision. It's not a decision that they can take unilaterally without consulting the various agencies. And so they are going to meet them today to decide what happens next. There
you have it. And then you remember the Central Region Police, the Gomwa Police to be specific, they were looking for this prophetess who had convinced, some parents that their child was a spirit child that needed to be killed. In fact, the allegation is that she assisted them in killing this child. Opinion leaders of Gomwa Ejumako They've handed her over to the police. She's 64 years old, so she's going to go through the process. We thank God for that. Obey court ruling on Rastafarian student Nats urges members at Achimota School. Laboratory scientists, thank God, they've called off their strike after discussion with Parliament's Health Committee. We've got a member of the committee. We want to understand what they told them, because you see, we don't want them to wake up tomorrow and start again and say that the committee didn't do what they had said they would do. And then there are plenty other stories on myjoyonline.com. We'll urge you to go and explore. There's a birthday dedication is to one of our own. Isaac Nonya is our Savannah region correspondent. He's a fantastic guy, and it is his birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Isaac Nonya. Can you let the pictures flow so our viewers can see him and appreciate him as well? Isaac Nonya is our Savannah region correspondent. It is his birthday today. From all of us here at Joy News and indeed the Multimedia Group, we're wishing you a happy birthday today, Isaac Nonya. Who is keeping his pictures? We'll bring that to you in a bit. But happy birthday to you, Frank Abuaje. Oh, that's Isaac Nonya right there. We are thanking God for his divine cover, endless grace, and all the beautiful people around you. It is our prayer that same grace be extended to all orphans, and that's your prayer as well, widows and widowers in Ghana. That's how you want to celebrate your birthday. So we celebrate with you, Isaac Nonya. Frank Abuaji of Nsawam, and an advanced one to your son, Jerome Abuaji. It's also your birthday, Isaac Amankwa, from your wife, Mami Joe, and your siblings. If it's your birthday today, of course we can't mention all, but happy birthday to you. You wanted to say something? Oh no,
you should send a special message to Professor
John Owusu Japan. Yeah. Yes.
It's your savior.
He's the Vice Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
Yeah.
Thank you very mumuch, sir, for coming through. You know, he's got my back. It feels good.
But Professor,
knowing that.
Professor, this question there is very easy for a professor.
Next time, I won't say who told me. But also to remind you, today's the day that the Parliament's Appointment Committee will be vetting the President's deputy ministerial nominees. One of our friends, one of our helpers, and a very good friend of mine will be vetted today, and I wish him the very best. He's the Member of Parliament for Ikuapem South. He is the nominee, deputy nominee, minister nominee for local governments, and I wish him the very best. He will do fantastic, I know. So Obi Amwa, the very best of luck today as you face the Appointments Committee. Coincidentally, he's also a member of the committee. All right, introduce sports.
Muftal has sports. I'm sure some good news from Kotoko.
No, his mother is watching, so you have to say Muftal Abdullahi Nabila is bringing sports.
Yes, sir.